BookTube, it's Kim at Middle of the Book March. I am a little bit behind on my tags, but this one I jumped on because it's so much fun, and I like saying effed up. So this is the Efftup Book Tag, and I was tagged by Brian at Bookish. Thank you, Brian, and I had a really good time watching yours and listening to your answers. This was created by The Guilty Feet, and both channels will be linked below. There are 10 prompts, so let's get rolling. Number 1, a book that was effed up in a good way. Very quickly, I have 2 of them. The first one is The Pisces by Melissa Broder. I've talked about this book so many times. I really liked it. Very satirical, funny, smart, disgusting, raunchy, gross, dirty, about a woman who falls in love with a merman because she can't really get her together to find a good relationship with a human man. It's twisted and, again, dirty, gross, hilarious. A lot of commentary and satire on how women look at men and wanting men in their lives and needing men in their lives and what that does to them and how that is so destructive and unhealthy. The other one is The Sellout by Paul Beatty. This is a novel about a black man and his father living in Los Angeles, and he talks about how his father was a sociologist or a psychologist and subjected him as a child to different psychological experiments. It's the agrarian ghetto of the southern outskirts of Los Angeles. It's described as Dickensian. There we go. He discusses black culture in southern LA, poverty, racism, modern day slavery, black people who are offering themselves up to other black people as slaves. The whole time I read it, I thought it was so intelligent, but I also felt like, I don't think I should be reading this. I don't think this book is meant for me as an audience, but I thought it was so smart and so funny and unique and interesting, so really like that one. Second prompt, number 2, is a book that was effed up in a bad way. There's so many, and 2 of them are nonfiction. I second what Brian said about 3 Women by Lisa Taddeo. What kind of bullshit was that book? 3 Women just was a documentary of 3 individual women's messed up, dysfunctional sex lives, all white, all privileged. It was a hot mess, and it was gross and disgusting and marketed incorrectly. It was a horribly written book. It sucked. The other one is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. We picked this for whatever reason for my In Real Life book club. I got about 75 pages in, and I got to a point where the author describes what he's going to do to Jennifer Aniston if he ever gets the chance to meet her. And I thought, you're a disgusting pig, you're a misogynist, you are thinking you're trendy and thinking you're unique by using the F word all over the place. Again, really damaging writing, damaging facts, alternate facts, alternative truth. That book was filled with it. Yeah, and the other one was one of my worst fiction read of 2019, which was Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. It was billed as a thriller. There's a spoiler coming. I'm spoiling this book. It was the stupidest, horribly written thriller. At the end of the book, the solution to this thriller / mystery, it's a murder mystery, mistaken identity. It has to do with ghosts and being able to leave your body and inhabit another body, and you're actually alive and you can take over somebody else's body and kick out their personality. You don't write a contemporary thriller with that type of wrap-up. It was lazy and stupid and an awful story. Wow. Wow. Sorry, people. It's just a lot of negativity here. Okay, let's roll it back around. Number 3, a book that everyone loved, but you think it was just effed up. The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This is Helen Huang is an author who is neurodiverse, neuroatypical, writing about a main character protagonist with most likely Asperger's or high-functioning autism. She wants to have a romantic relationship, but she doesn't have a clue what to do. She doesn't know how to have a healthy physical relationship with a man, and so she hires a male escort. The book is pretty naughty, and there are a bunch of sexy bits that are fairly over the top, but the actual idea of hiring somebody, paying them money to teach you how to have sex and how to do that, how to have a physical relationship, it was gross to me. And these reviews were hot and cold on this book. I am all behind a neurodiverse author writing about a neurodiverse character. Not like this, though. Really didn't like it at all. Let's see, number 4, Sexy as Eftup. I'm going for the classics here. Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence. I know this is all kinds of problematic. D.H. Lawrence is an all kinds of problematic author. Taken in context, he's a classic author. This was one of the most banned books of all time. And this is the unabridged version. Woohoo! I also watched the movie. So this is the story of Mrs. Chatterley, who is the wife of a man who is injured in the war, can't perform sexually, starts having a physical affair with the groundskeeper or the caretaker. Yeah. And it's there's definitely some sexy bits in here, but it's not as overt as many contemporary romances or sexy books. But very steamy. Let's see, number 5, Efftup for Kids. Along with my husband came a treasure trove of old toys and a bunch of school papers that his mother saved in the attic, along with a stack of really old books. And this one came in the stack, and I have threatened ever since I found it to burn it. And he's like, no, please don't burn it. There's nostalgia here for him, but I think this is one of the most effed up kids books I've ever seen. Okay, for context, this was published in 1952, and this was given to him from his grandparents in 1972. He was only 2 years old. So this is titled Just Like Mommy and Just Like Daddy. Look at that cover. I think you know where I'm going with this. Look at the back. Now, I'm laughing because I'm so angry. Let's see. I'm going to read this picture book to you. In the morning when I wake up, I put on my robe and slippers just like Mommy. I brush and comb my hair just like Mommy. After breakfast, I clean up just like Mommy. We wash the dishes. I love the 50s. And it goes on. We dust the tables. We carpet sweep. I make my bed just like Mommy. I go shopping just like Mommy. Then I hurry home to fix lunch just like Mommy. Some days we wash our hair. Some days we sweep the sidewalk. What? We pick flowers. We read. In the evening, I wait for Daddy to come home just like Mommy. I'm Daddy's girl, just like Mommy. Oh, I sleep under the covers just like Mommy and dream that someday I'll be a mommy, just like Mommy. Now, the second half is the Daddy's portion, just like Daddy. In the morning, I wake up just like Daddy. I brush my teeth and wash just like Daddy. I put on my shoes and socks just like Daddy. And conveniently, it's a little boy. On Saturday after breakfast, I work just like Daddy. Sometimes we hammer, sometimes we paint, sometimes we talk on the telephone, sometimes we write a letter. Neither one of them is sweeping the sidewalk. I get hungry just like Daddy. We run when Mommy calls. Lunchtime! I eat everything on my plate just like Daddy. After my nap, I'm busy just like Daddy. In the winter, we shovel snow. Wait, he gets to take a nap? What about the little girl and the mommy? But they get naps before they shovel the snow. Oy. In the spring, we plant vegetables and flowers. In summer, we cut grass. In the fall, we rake leaves. I have fun just like Daddy when we get our hair cut or when we play ball or when we wash our cars. Yep, this is so old, it's falling apart. It's all brown. And then, let's see, the last page. Mommy says that someday I'll be a daddy, just like Daddy. What kind of bullshit is this? Oh, I've tried to hide it. I've hidden it, and both my husband and my daughter have found it for God knows what reason. Anyway, let's get back to the tag. Number 6, an Efftup classic. Not because it's badly written, but Dr. Jekyll and Mr Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. A really slim, excellent classic, but really messed up, talking about the man's duality, good and evil, what you're willing to do to gain a different side of you, to discover what you're capable of or what you're capable of in an evil way. Excellent, messed up, effed up classic. Number 7, effed up in translation. Hong Kong is going to appear a couple times here, but this one is The Vegetarian. This is translated, let's see, from the Korean by Deborah Smith, and she translates the other book I'm going to show you as well. This is not about being a vegetarian. This is not about a woman's journey into vegetarianism. This is about a woman who has nightmares of rotting, bloody meat and carcasses, and she can't eat meat. She can't eat regular food, and she starts to starve herself. Her father, her traditional Korean family, especially her father, try to force feed her pork, and it goes down from there. She's in an abusive relationship with her husband. He doesn't look at her as a normal woman, and he degrades her, humiliates her, leaves her. She descends into mental illness, but this is a messed up, effed up novel in translation from the Korean. Number 8, effed up nonfiction. I've got several, but I'm only going to show you 2. The first one, The Unwomanly Face of War by Svetlana Alexievich. It's an oral history of women in World War II, translated from the Russian by Richard Pevier and Larissa Volochansky. This says it's Unwomanly Face of War, about women in World War II, Russian women. It's about girls, Russian girls who entered the army in their teens, some of them in their very early teens, who fought in World War II for the Russians. It discusses everything you can possibly imagine that a woman might experience in a war zone in the 40s in Russia. Effed up content. The writing was good. It's a really good oral history. There's a lot that blends together in that book, but extremely well written. This one is Asking for It by Kate Harding, The Alarming Rise of Rape Culture and What We Can Do About It. I don't think I have to say anything about the content. It's a very well written book, messed up, effed up, subject matter, extremely important to talk about and to write about and to read about, but effed up, really. Let's see, number 9, Illustrated Effed Up. Another kind of a classic. Besides that children's book, but Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Not the more contemporary retellings or different artwork. The original artwork. This scared the bejesus out of me when it got to the Red Queen and how angry she was, and I was stupid and I didn't mark the picture. Hold on, please. So, the original Alice in Wonderland drawings are scary. I mean, look at this. These are the originals. This is not your Disney Alice in Wonderland, and I read this book repeatedly as a kid. And the illustrations are fairly disturbing. Look at this one. I mean, that's some creepy illustrations. There's this one. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for a sensitive child. And if they like it, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, look at the expression on his face. This is messed up. This is messed up illustrations in the original Alice in Wonderland. And how high was Lewis Carroll when he wrote that book? That's a mess. And then the last one, number 10, Hanya Yanagihara's A Little Effed Up, a book that is just misery porn, solely designed to convince you how effed up the world is. A Little Life was a misery of a book to read. However, I loved the book. Wasn't perfect, but I really liked. It's so difficult to read. The amount of trauma and abuse in that book, the amount of death and destruction and soulful destruction, what a person can go through and what breaks them, the amount of just damage and everything throughout that book. This one is about a war and conflict, and again, this is Hong Kong Human Acts, translated by Deborah Smith. This talks about a student uprising in Gwangju, I think that's how you pronounce it, South Korea, where hundreds of students, young people, were murdered by their own military. She's a very transparent, gory, raw writer. She's describing dead bodies, every kind of gore you can imagine, sexual assault, abandonment, loss, degradation. It's all in this book. It's as gross as flies landing on dead bodies. What happens when a body putrefies. It's pretty nasty and just, it's horrifying to read. It's very short, but I still needed to take some breaks here and there between chapters. But the most horrifying part of this book is that it's based on history. It's based on truth. This actually happened, and that's what she does in her novels, is she bases her stories on what has actually happened and the history in South Korea and in Korea as a country. Those are the 10 prompts, the Efftup Book Tag, a bunch of effed up books, people. I'm going to tag some people. I'm going to tag Aaron at Aaron Go Read. Now, if any of you don't want to do this tag, that's okay. But I thought some of you might provide some interesting answers. Tori at Hufflepuff Discovery, Barb at The Font, Alba at Seriella. Now, I know that you have some really interesting selections for this. Ed at Gagging for Lit. Also, he's got to have some unique perspective. And Scott and Nelle at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I would love to hear all of you do this tag and provide your answers. Yeah, these were effed up in all their own special ways, but thanks for watching. Don't send me any hate comments. Don't comment unless you have something to say. Don't dislike the video. If it offends you, I hope you're not even here anymore. That's not the point of anything of what I said. So send me a comment if you want to discuss anything I said, any of the books that I showed you. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.